Denied the benevolent rains of spring, America's wheat belt suffers its greatest grain loss in 41 years. The prolonged dry spell accompanied by desert temperatures has affected crops, humans, and animals alike. Pasture land has become wasteland, and in many instances, farmers have turned the sparse vegetation of wheat fields over to their cattle. The blanket of fertile soil which covers the seed has been dried to powder and carried away by the scorching winds. Scenes such as this have spurred President Roosevelt into speedy action, and the farmers face the future with renewed confidence.
Well, things looks pretty tough. But it ain't gonna be this way all the time. I'm looking for better times. I think the crop failure is the end of it. And I have a lot of faith in our good government.
Blistering heat and lack of rain continue to burn the vast pasture lands of the West, now undergoing the worst arid spell on record. Cattle by the thousands have died from the ravages of thirst and starvation. So acute is the situation that water must be transported in an effort to avert complete disaster. With no relief in sight, farmers are praying that the distant oases hold out, and by sacrificing the fodder they had stored up for winter, manage to keep cattle alive. Ordinarily, this feed is not used until late in November. Boy, that tastes good. These cattle are the lucky ones. They're not going to die of starvation out on the prairie anyway. But your Uncle Sam has also stepped in and bought over 1 million head destined for the stockyards and canned beef for federal emergency relief next winter. South Dakota, one of 24 states affected by the worst drought in the history of the United States. Thousands of acres of once fertile farmland have been burned to desert wastes by the ravages of scorching winds, searing heat, and rainless skies. With a new heat wave predicted, cattle gaunt and emaciated from hunger and thirst are corralled for shipment or slaughter. Scenes such as this bear grim evidence of the dire situation which confronts over 10 million head of livestock on farm and range. Plow horses with nothing to plow face the torments of starvation and thirst. Beneath this bridge in Nebraska flowed the Platte River. Its bed is now dry and arid, caked hard by the boiling sun. Cattle wander aimlessly over its barren soil. This wise old bull, accustomed to stand in the cooling waters of his favorite stream, now paws its dusty bed and lifts his voice in blind resentment to the merciless sun.
I'd like to see it rain. I have seen it, but I'd like to have my son see it.
Even if it did rain, it wouldn't do any good now. The crops are already gone.
Wheat fields, normally great waving acres, waist high at this time of the year, are reduced to dry, sun-baked tinder. America's output is already cut in half. The Corn Belt, where tall corn used to grow, likewise burned to a crisp. The once thriving town of Ceresco, Nebraska, business virtually suspended due to the unrelenting heat. Listen to these farmers tell their stories.
I've been farming 50 years, and this is the worst I've ever seen.
You know, the land that I got anything out of what the government paid me not to plant.
We're mighty bad off, but I guess there's a lot of them working than we are.
This is a shot of Frick's Camp, another indigent workers' camp, independent of government aid. At the same camp, at Frick's Camp. Each family is charged 10 cents per lot per day. It is estimated that these camps will only provide for about a little more than 1.5%. It's estimated that these camps will only provide a little more than 1.5% of the migratory. Once again, it is estimated that these camps will only provide for about a little more than 1.5% of the migratory. This is a general shot of the Arvin Migratory Camp. Another shot of the Arvin Migratory Camp.
Come on. Look here. That didn't hurt.
Shafter Migratory Labor Camp being put up by the Resettlement Administration of the Department of Agriculture. This camp will accommodate 6 units of 40 families to a unit. Each unit has a central building housing showers, flush toilets, and laundry tubs. Also a health center with resident nurse hired by the State Department of Public Health. 6 camps under construction now through the state in the
Washington, President Roosevelt addresses the Motion Picture Academy Banquet, a banquet held in Hollywood.
The American motion picture as a national and international force is a phenomenon of our own generation. Within living memory, we've seen it born and grow up to full maturity. We have seen the American motion picture become foremost in all the world. We've seen it reflect our civilization throughout the rest of the world, the aims and the aspirations and the ideals of a free people and of freedom itself. That's the real reason that some governments do not want our American films exhibited in their countries. Dictators, those who enforce the totalitarian form of government, think it's a dangerous thing for their unfortunate peoples to know that in our democracy, officers of the government are the servants and never the masters of the people.
Then the Academy Awards. The Best Supporting Actress, Jane Darwell of 20th Century Fox on the right, with Alfred Lunt and Lynn Fontaine.
This is for the best performance by a supporting actress for the year 1940, and it has been awarded to Miss Jane Darwell for the picture The Grapes of Wrath.
Thank you so much, Miss Fontaine. It's very difficult for me to express my feelings at the moment, but I'm deeply grateful. Thank you.
The Music Award is presented by Darrell Zanuck to Alfred Newman.
To Alfred Newman, it is a great pleasure to present you with this award for the best musical score of the year in the film Tin Pan Alley. You deserve congratulations.
Thank you.
Tell me, did you really love Jack Diamond?
Yes, I loved him dearly, and interrupted my stage career because of my love to him.
How did this famous gangster treat you?
He treated me wonderful, kind and lovable. I wouldn't know it done him if I saw them.
Aren't you sorry you didn't take your mother's advice and keep away from Diamond?
Yes, but all young girls think they know it all.
When did you see Diamond alive for the last time, Miss Rabbits?
About 11 p.m. on the day of his acquittal in Albany.
How did you know that he had been murdered?
When I awakened by newsboys cry, Jack Diamond slain.
what happened then?
I fainted, and I nearly fell out of the bedroom window.
Miss Roberts, what advice have you for other girls who are tempted?
I'd advise them to live good, clean lives and obey their parents' wishes.
What are your plans for the future, Miss Roberts?
To resume my stage career where it was broken and give Mother no more heartache.
Well, Mother, what have you got to say?
Oh, I'm the happiest woman in the world today, but I have Marion back with me. I prayed night and day to have her with me for Christmas, and God has answered my prayer.